Welcome to Shredding Illusions and Finding Realities, and I'm James Sanders. This segment is the radical Talmudist and their cancerous Zionist New World Order agenda. Seems the control is declining. Look for things to start ramping up here shortly because the elite radical Talmudists behind the New World Order have been losing big ground lately. If you're aware of the birth of communism, then you know what's been in control of Russia since the Bolshevik uprising. One only needs to look at the Balfour Declaration and the way Europe was hoodwinked into supporting the Israel colony in Palestine, and one knows what has been in control of the English portion of Europe. When one looks at the way the Germans have been bludgeoned and bullied into paying reparations, again, you know what's in control there as well. Lastly, when you look at the fact that a nativity scene is banned on government property over the holidays, yet it's okay to have a menorah and the yarmulke worn by many of our most recent presidents, and again, it's plain to see what is in control here in America. That doesn't even take into account the general government push of Israel first and their constant bowing to AIPAC whenever someone is posted to a cabinet position, and the cries come that they might not be a good candidate because they might be or are anti-Semitic. It's like the boy that cried wolf one too many times, and the result seems to be that many are awakening to the radical Talmudist stranglehold on America. However, there are big signs that the control is waning, at least in some of the other nations. When one understands just how badly the radical Talmudist NWO orchestrators hate Christianity, Putin in Russia moving towards Orthodox Christianity is a telling tale. A recent landmark case in Britland where they've concluded that anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitism is another telltale sign of the waning control in that neck of the world as well. It seems more and more people and nations are waking up to the reality that is Israel, and more people are starting to distance themselves from Israel because of that reality. It seems the only stalwart supporter they have left is America, but that's no surprise when one looks at their control of our banking system, our media, and numerous dual citizens that exist in our government and cabinet positions. Save the anti-Semitic accusations. Their own Jewish encyclopedia makes such claims, along with their own Jewish journalists like Joel Stein as well. Besides, what's behind it all is a specific sect within them, not the entire ethnicity. There is also the control of a large number of evangelical Christians that blindly follows anything that Israel does. Seemingly, I missed the fine print in the Bible that suggests the chosen people can violate the Ten Commandments, but to each their own. I guess it's just too much for most to realize that if they say that Israel has the right to something, then so too does the Palestinian nation. Neither side is innocent with their trading of death and destruction. If this wasn't enough, many of the recent terrorism events seem to be backfiring and falling short of their intended goals. Events like Sandy Hook and most recently the Boston Marathon bombing have been picked apart by truthers showing events for what they are and the extreme absurdity behind the lamestream suggested facts. It seems that more and more people are starting to realize that the groups they're trying to vilify of late are perceived enemies to Israel. Even the sudden suggestion of war drums from Korea and supposed threats of nuclear attacks have fallen silent from radical Talmudic manipulator outlets. They've had their noses bloodied repeatedly, especially this latest step concerning Syria, and after they used America to lie about who used chemical weapons, good old Israel decided to take matters into its own hands with an outright attack and bombing of Syrian targets. As Israel has continually beaten the war drums concerning Iran, always because of the threat of WMDs, it seems that most are catching on to this little tactic too, as they've been pushing this for near a decade. It seems since they can't get that war with Iran that they want, they'll go the back route with Syria, because Syria and Iran are under treaties to protect one another. A war with Syria will draw Iran into the mix. Given recent House resolutions, America will back Israel in a war against Iran. Given this information, along with the fact that Syria nor Iran have Rothschild-controlled central banks, along with the rich oil resources involved, there are ample reasons for the radical Talmudist controllers to want war and invasion of both Iran and Syria. This also falls into the grand Zionist scheme where Israel extends from the Brook of Egypt to the Euphrates. which would include parts of Syria, Iran, and Iraq. They call this Eretz Israel, or Greater Israel. For those aware that we've been droning people in Yemen, yep, you guessed it, that is also eyed by the Zionists in their Greater Israel plans. In the end, it will all boil down to the American public and how much they push back against this madness. Will the majority come to the realities and realizations as presented in this video, or will they allow the lamestream media propaganda to continue suggesting a threat from a people thousands of miles away? Will the majority finally realize that our government alphabet soup agencies have been radicalizing Muslims through Islam, funding radical Islamic extremists with a penchant for a distorted jihad, or will they continue their apathy and brainwashing through baseball, Dancing with the Stars, American Idol, Jersey Shore, and the latest episode of The Kardashians? Will the reality be enough to help them realize that this is more propaganda and radical Talmudist manipulations so our children can bleed and die in Israeli wars by proxy? Only time will tell. Think about it.